Welcome back to another episode of Hanging with the Herd. This is our last episode of the journey to S&C Professional, Strength and Conditioning Professional. Today we got Coach JD going. We'll get to that after our thoughts of the day. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this series. Hopefully when we get guests on, we kind of continue this series in a way with, finding out other people's journeys. I think that'll be a cool way to do it. Just definitely hearing other people's stories of how they got to where they're at, any ideas or tips or things that they can share, things of what to do and what not to do. I think it'd be great as we go on from this, but definitely a great start here in 5 different journeys, completely different, which is awesome. But let's go. Adam, you got a thought of the day?
Yeah, so any of you guys seen the latest NFL Players Association team report cards that got sent out today? You know what that is? So the NFL Players Association asked 1,300 plus players about various portions of their team and their services, and they gave a report card on it, like A through F. So I just wanted to read one of them because one of them stood out quite interestingly. So it's the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. So we got locker room, F. Treatment of families, F.
Yeah.
Food service, nutrition, F minus. Weight room, F. Training room, F minus. Strength staff, A.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Buddy
Hey.
Morris, baby.
That's wild.
Buddy Morris. I just encourage you guys to look at look at your team, look at your home squad. Look, it's kind of interesting. Interestingly enough, the Vikings had the number one overall with like a ton of A's or A pluses for all across the board. Just based on how they
don't finish in the postseason.
Really? Where were you guys at?
Yeah, you're a Bears
guys
fan,
at?
dude.
Where were you at?
No, you're a Packer fan, whatever.
I looked at the
Same
Packers one. The Packers
I got,
one,
I got a ring this
No, you
past.
don't.
Packers one was pretty
A ring.
solid. But the Vikings
didn't
were number
contribute.
one. I think the Packers were in the top 10, but the Vikings were number one for just all across the board of like locker room, how their facilities are, how their staff is, and how they treat them.
Number one. It's more about how you treat others. That's what matters. It's the impact you leave on other people.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
I just thought
how
that
you
was
want to
really
be treated.
that was really interesting that like the Cardinals got dead last, or sorry, they didn't even get dead last. They got 31st out of 32 teams as far as
Who was
overall.
last?
But
The Browns.
That's a great question. I'll look it up while you guys are going through your thought of the day.
All right.
Uh,
Vondo, thought of the day?
I'm gonna go with the turf versus grass argument. I got brought into an important conversation the other day, and sharing my thoughts on turf versus grass, and really the focus on my end was like injury rates and like, is there a difference? Is there an impact? What's the science behind it? So like, I gave my thoughts and opinions. Originally, it was like, hey, I've worked most of my career training teams that have had turf. I've experienced quite a few amount of knee injuries, whether I was an intern, assistant, head guy, whatever it was. Like, so like, I was trying to go back and forth, and I can probably guess what you guys will say, but I want to get your thoughts on whether it's research you guys have read on ACL injuries, turf versus grass, what your opinions on which one's safer, quote unquote, as far as limiting non-contact injuries, or just any other thoughts. So I'll go with Jay Ruff since you're bottom right first.
I mean, I don't know a ton of the research, to be honest, but I think it really depends on how well kept your grass field is. Like, we just watched the Super Bowl, and that grass field was like crazy slippery.
Yeah.
But then, like, again, I played on turf pretty much my whole high school and college career, and I've seen just as many injuries on my high school practice field that was grass as I did a real turf field. So I don't think the turf is as dangerous as people think. I don't know. I think it's just more common that you're playing on a turf field.
What'd you tear your ACL on?
Turf field. My first one was contact, though. The second one wasn't contact.
Both turf though?
Both turf.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of grass fields in Minneapolis that you'd want to play on. So
I think it's really interesting to look at, especially looking like the soccer world. 99.9% of 99.9999% of fields not in America are grass. And if you look at, there's studies out there about injury rates in like European soccer and like American football and things like that, and it's lower over there than it is here. So I definitely think that's something interesting to look at. I think if the rest of the world, is on the grass trend, like you look at rugby's played on grass. You look at any professional soccer, it's all played on grass. I can't speak for the MLS completely, but I'm 90% sure that it's played on grass. I think that's how it should be. I know college soccer, there's very, very few, especially at mainly at the D1 level. D2 and D3 and NAI is kind of tough because you kind of play on whatever field's available. A lot of times it's like a football field that's used for football, lacrosse, and soccer. So, but soccer is predominantly played on grass. I know Northwestern has a turf field, which is rare. Creighton has a turf field. It's like one of the most beautiful stadiums you'll go into, but it has turf and just kind of pisses you off. But I truly do think the ACL injuries I've seen, they've been on turf. I've seen like tweaks and stuff on grass, but I think grass is a safer bet when it comes to, if you're planting and your leg needs to go like give out. A lot of times that grass is going to give. Turf doesn't give like that. Turf's going to catch that cleat. I'm a grass 100% supporter all the way. And I think every field should be grass.
Let me add some too, because I think I thought of this when you said that a lot of the fields in Europe are grass. Do you think the variability between going turf, grass, sometimes like indoor facility, do you think that almost plays an impact in injury rates as well?
I mean, you can compare that to track too, right? Going indoor, outdoor, different surfaces.
I think so. I don't know. I think for sure it's definitely going to be different because it's like if you go run on concrete or if you've been running on grass and if your soccer team goes on, you've been on grass for whatever, how long, even turf or whatever, but then you have them go run like a mile on concrete, they're all going to get shin splints or their feet are going to fucking hurt just because of the impact. But I think it's less from grass to turf. I definitely do think there's a transition for sure. It's definitely a different field. I mean, even if you go turf to turf, I mean, you can feel a completely different field. Like we have two different turf fields here and they feel completely different. So I definitely think that does play a factor, but I don't think it plays a factor as much as just the difference in the two. So because I mean, we practice most of the time, like if you're football, right, you're probably playing on turf. I mean, unless you're like a really smaller school or something like that, most of the time you're probably playing on turf. So that you're probably practicing on turf. Like the only time we ever practiced on grass was when we were playing a team that played on grass. That was it. We'd practice that week on grass. But I still think that grass is the way to go.
I think pretty much every professional team should be able to have grass, but you have to look at the environment too. A lot of like the high school level, the lower college level. If you're somewhere like Minnesota or somewhere Ohio where it's going to rain, snow, conditions are not good for grass, and it's extremely hard to keep it up to where you can play on it every day. I think you just have to go turf.
I'm calling bullshit on that. Because look at Minnesota's soccer field. They have one of the best soccer fields in the
Division
One.
He's talking lower level.
Oh,
money,
for sure.
Yeah, if you don't have the money to upkeep it
in general,
professionally,
they have a full grounds crew. They have a full grounds crew.
Yeah, I definitely think it's doable for sure. It's doable. I just think it's a money thing though. Like people don't want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these places, like our high school, our softball team, had maybe 3 or 4 games last year because they couldn't play on their field all year because we had so much rain this last spring. And so I think depending on the level, we don't obviously have money to keep up a grass and a dirt infield with the drainage system and stuff. So I think you just have to look what level it is. If you're going to be able to keep it up, go grass. If you can take care of it, grass for sure. But some of these schools can't. So I think that's why you have to have both.
I was at the NAI school in Florida, and it fucking rained every day, and they were grass and dirt, but like they had the players out there taking care of it like every day. Yeah. Like but
you also had sun to help dry it up too, whereas we weren't getting a lot of sun, so it just stayed soaked.
Yeah.
But
Adam.
I have nothing to say other than my experience with turf versus grass because at Whitewater, our main practice, we practiced on turf 90% of the time, but like in the summer when we were in fall ball, we would move practice to the grass because it was 20 degrees cooler. So I'm not really commenting on the injury part of it because I don't really have anything to say, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's nice to have both, especially at the D3 level, but it wasn't even like it was just nice to have the extra space. It wasn't even like a practice field. We just went to a back 40 to like
Right.
practice in the grass. And they lined it with paint. So
Yeah, I think we could definitely revisit this topic and have a whole half pod talking about this. For me, it's like, what's the goal? What's your priority? Is it limiting injuries? Is it selling tickets and getting people to come watch your games? Is it like JD or I forget who said it, like having your games rained out, or like you go to a visiting team and it's rained out because their grass and dirt field is just a mess, but then you could quickly go to your turf field, right, and reschedule that game right then and there. So there's a lot of factors, but definitely an interesting topic.
before the next person goes, I have the worst team was the Washington Commanders, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
that doesn't
So
surprise me.
treatment of families F, food service D, weight room C.
They got a
Strength
D and a
A
C.
plus, A plus on the strength coach.
So how did they do better than the Cardinals?
There's training room F minus, training staff D, locker room F minus, team travel F minus. So that's the lowest score. So
But didn't the
they
Cardinals have all
overall had-
Fs?
they had a lot of Fs in there. Yeah.
There's probably more to it than what
Oh,
Adam was
yeah.
talking about.
But
Okay.
yeah. Interesting survey.
That's straight from the players too.
It is. Yep. 100%.
Anonymous.
Yep.
They should put quarterback in there. See what people said. Really stir the pot a little bit, you know. Cardinals F. Packers, who knows?
Sitting in the dark room.
We're in the dark. We're in the dark on that one so far.
He's gone. He's gone. Just
Is he
just
still in
accept
that thing?
No, he's out. He's out, but still indecisive. Aaron Rodgers, we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
So he did that for nothing.
Oh, he knows where he's going. It's just not the Packers.
He's waiting for his microdose to get so strong that he just sees where he's supposed to go.
Going to the Raiders. I don't know.
All right, who's next?
Coach Roth.
Okay, your best Wii game. Everyone played the Wii. What was your favorite one?
Mario
Bowling.
Kart.
Bowling.
Golfing.
Ooh, I did like golf.
Mario Kart, JD.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to go with golf, dude. Golf was fun.
You just went with the Wii sports games. What about you ever play Wii Resort?
Yeah, Wii Resort was cool. I don't know. I wasn't a big Wii person.
I didn't like the Wii because it told me I was like my fitness age was 80.
Yeah, bro.
It was basically telling me I was fat.
You guys had the little like the board thing that you stood on?
The Wii Fit
Yeah.
board? Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
used to play Mario and Sonic Olympics on that board. Didn't do the Wii Fit very much, but we played like bobsledding. You'd actually sit on the board and then have to like
Side.
lean and
Anyone play Call of Duty on the Wii?
Yeah,
dude,
actually, Modern Warfare 2 or
was
something.
kinda hard,
way back
bro.
in the day.
World at War, bro, with the nunchuck.
A World at War. That's what it was. Yes,
Around
that's
the
what it was.
nunchuck and like snipe people.
Yep.
I didn't like it. It was weird. It
Yeah,
was weird.
it was ahead of its generation. One day we're gonna be playing video games, like arms up.
I mean you already got those like VR
Mhm.
things where like you're
Yeah.
running on that
In the
360
metaverse.
treadmill.
Dude, we were walking through, I think it was Target the other day, and we walked by that, me and Katie, and she's like, you know what? One day I want to get one of these. I'm like, that's why I picked you. That's why I picked you.
Dude, they're sweet actually. I used one at Christmas time
Yeah.
and they had like a base jumping. So you would be like skydiving. It was such a trip. It was so cool though.
Dang. That sounds sick.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
My thought. Oh, you got some, JD?
No, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever tried one.
I haven't either. My thought of the day. My favorite chip right now. I'm a big chip guy. I love chips. My favorite chip right now is the sour cream. What is it? Fire hot, like the Cheetos. There's a sour cream fire hot Ruffles. Fire. It's the best chip. It's addicting. Highly hot. If you flaming hot. If you like flaming hot Cheetos, and you
I
like,
love flaming hot
I
Cheetos.
like flaming hot Cheetos.
you gotta try them. They're
I'm a
flaming
big
hot.
lime flaming hot
Nah,
Cheetos.
bro. Flaming hot sour cream and cheddar.
Sounds
Ruffles.
That
good.
sounds like 10 flavors in one.
Dude,
Yeah, Ruffles
it's
are undefeated in the
amazing,
chip game,
bro.
though.
Amazing. It's elite when it comes to chip. Definitely my new number one chip right now.
Can you get it at like Target,
Yeah,
Walmart?
you can get it anywhere. Yeah. It's fine.
Dollar Tree.
You
Yeah.
guys were kids. Did you ever put like chips in your sandwiches?
Yeah.
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 100%.
I still put potato chips in my like sloppy joes.
Doritos
No.
are fire in a sloppy
What?
Joe.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like baked Lays or just
Hey.
regular Lays or what?
No, like Cape Cod chips. They're
Ooh,
like
okay.
potato chips.
Hey, have you you're up north, right? Have you had the crab like chips that are up there?
Crab chips?
Crab
they're,
flavor.
they're
Never heard
crab
of it.
flavored.
I've heard
Yeah.
of that.
No.
You can only get them like really up north. Like northeast.
No, I don't think I've had that. But my mom lives
Fire,
in
dude.
Maine, so I'll have to ask. if
Yeah,
she's had-
that's the main spot. Yeah.
I thought they're a bit. Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
so good, bro. So I've looked for them everywhere. I can't find them. So
I mean,
good.
if you guys ever get to the East Coast, you just got to have a lobster roll.
Oh, dude, I was telling somebody the other day that McDonald's has lobster
McDonald's
rolls.
lobster rolls. Get that out of here.
What?
Hey, low key though, it's not bad though. You have to admit, it's not bad for a fast
Have you
food
tried
lobster
that?
roll.
Justin, have you tried it?
No, but that's like
Oh,
such a
dude,
knock
don't even-
on real
No,
lobster
no,
rolls.
I've had real lobster.
Have
rolls.
you
Like, when
tried
they
it?
Have them right now.
You're telling me
When
if
it's
you
in
went to
season.
Red Cow and had a cheeseburger, and then you're like, you know what though, that
No,
double
no, 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 no,
cheeseburger
no,
at
no, no.
McDonald's.
No. I'm saying though, like for a fast food place to pull off a lobster roll is super impressive, and it's not a bad lobster roll. I'm not saying it's the
Right.
best ever.
I'm talking about like sushi.
When I would go up to Maine, we'd have fresh lobster like one day, and I'd just smack lobster. Right? I'd choose that a billion times over. But the fact that McDonald's just can pull out a lobster roll and it actually be good lobster is
I
impressive.
can't get on that board.
I
Deal.
I can't get
Bro,
on that train.
I had to try it. I tried it. Fire. Absolutely fire. I was just so impressed, right? If they had it out here, I'm never not ordering a lobster roll instead of the McChicken. Like I'm getting a lobster roll and a McChicken, probably putting them together. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'll try
It's
one
like-
if
it's like
when I
the
go up to my
McRib.
mom's.
Just
Going
try
to
one,
a
Justin,
steakhouse
bro.
and getting ribs, or you go to McDonald's and get a McRib.
Nah, bro.
Same thing. Same
Well,
thing.
it depends. What you got in your pocket? You got it.
Way
You got
different.
$5 or you
Way
got 20
different.
bucks. You know what I'm saying?
The McRib is fire though.
Hey, real talk. We were talking about like when you're a kid, dude. Katie, we've been on this kick of she makes this thing where you guys ever had like the hot dogs wrapped in the crescent rolls,
Yeah.
bro?
Kids on
That's what
blanket.
we've been smacking those lately. She made them today with cheese.
Hayden,
Woo!
Hayden, you're not the pregnant one, bro. You don't have to.
Dude. She's
You're like, oh, hey, Katie's pregnant. We're having cereal. for dinner. We're having, dude.
Cereal. Ice cream and
Dude.
cereal.
but like, what a throwback! The little, it's like one of our favorite meals right now. It's so good. It's so easy.
Dude, we'll still make like mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Yeah, super good.
Stays
We've
good.
been on the pizza roll
Oh,
Oh
brand
yeah.
right now.
I'm a big dino nugget and a bag of veggies. About
Bag
8
of
dino
veggies.
nuggets and 1 pack of microwavable, steamable veggies. And then Chick-fil-A sauce or barbecue sauce.
oh
all
yeah.
over it.
That actually sounds so good.
It's so
Chick-fil-A
fast, 10
sauce.
minutes, no cleanup.
Man. All right. We've getting so sidetracked today. JD, what's the duck fact of the day?
Quack, quack,
Duck
quack.
fact of the day. So, since chicken eggs have gotten so expensive, bringing an egg fact here. Do you know ducks can produce more eggs than chickens? And most people that have had both say duck eggs taste better.
Are they cheaper?
They're big.
That I don't know, but here's where I'm going with it. You might as well just adopt some ducks, have your own eggs. You're gonna get more, and they taste better.
They're bigger too.
There you go, and they're bigger.
Goose eggs.
Some more
are
protein.
big, bro. Get yourself some geese. They lay some big
Jeez.
eggs.
Those
I
things
will
are
never
loud.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mean.
Poop everywhere.
Yeah.
But their eggs are like twice the size of a chicken.
So you want us to get ducks and just have duck eggs?
Dude, if we all got our own ducks, that'd be sick.
I think we need an intro And I'm thinking, quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth is our intro every time JD has a duck fact.
I'll just throw that sound in. I'll
Yeah,
find
yeah.
some like quacking or something.
Get the duck. Hey, JD, get the duck song in here.
Oh boy.
Mm-mm.
Have you even heard? You never heard of
Yeah,
it?
you played
I
it
sang it
last
that one time.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't do. You have to watch the video.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, totally not.
Sounds
Yeah.
better too.
Yeah. I don't have a great voice, so
All
But
right. Wow, that was about 40 minutes of bullshit. Hey, no poop facts today. Good job, boys.
well, we did just talk about duck poop and geese poop, so
Oh yeah, we just kind of threw it. Vonda just kind of like sprinkled that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
Did he not just say talk about
Talking about poop.
they poop everywhere.
Yeah, you
I
said
didn't
they
say
poop
that.
everywhere.
I
didn't say
said that.
Oh.
Come on, man, lock in.
I was with you, Jay. I totally thought.
Yeah, I
Vonda said
thought-
it. Yeah. All right, JD. It's your world. We're just living in it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to high school, I guess. So for my sport experience, played soccer from the age of 3. Played hockey at the age of 4.5 or 5. Pretty much started that pretty close after. I grew up watching my dad play because he started playing a little before I was born, and then he played at WSU as well. So I kind of grew up watching playing sports. Pretty much the only thing I did growing up through elementary school, middle school, high school. My life was dedicated to sports. I'd have multiple practices a day. I'd go from soccer practice to hockey, back and forth. Which then going into high school, junior year, I wanted to go play junior hockey. So trying to go basically to D1 level after that. But the way hockey works, most players go junior level through high school, and then a little bit after high school as well, and then they get chosen for college level. And that's the reason why a lot of college hockey players are actually older than pretty much everyone else. Any other sport is because you go juniors first, and then college. And so first, I think it was actually second day in Michigan, gonna go play juniors. Took a bad hit, messed up my knee, and then decided to go back home for my senior year of high school. Kind of from there, pretty bummed, gave up on the whole D1 college, anything else after that for hockey, just because I was a little late to it. By the time I'd come back, it would be really hard to get into. So ended up going from there to a local college, the same one my dad went to, WSU, Washington State University. I had family that was there since I used to live there as a kid. I just decided I'd go to college, get a degree, find something I wanted to do, make money. And they had a club team that I could play on as well. So going into that, I had never actually lifted before college. So my lifting career really did not start yet. It wasn't till I met a guy on the hockey team who was really big into lifting. His name was Chris. He started taking me at about 5:30 in the morning. I was like, I want to get into lifting. I was small at the time. I was about 140 pounds my freshman year of college. So I was like, I need to gain weight. I want to get stronger, do all that. So 5:30, I started going with him pretty much Monday through Friday. Go to the gym. I started learning everything, started squatting, benching, everything that I hadn't had experience before, because all my experience was on the field or on the ice. I never really had off ice stuff or weight room training before college. So that's kind of where the lifting kind of took off. Saw huge gains in strength that first year. I think I could probably squat maybe 200 pounds, maybe 185, to be honest, my freshman year, like going into it. But then by the end, I hit 315, pretty close to the end of my freshman year, which was huge. But then after that first year, moved in to a house with a couple guys on the team that are a little bit older, and they were doing the same thing. We started getting more of the team to lift. We'd lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 in the morning, and then we would take a cycling class Tuesday, Thursdays, which was actually a lot of fun. We had some fun instructors. They loved us. Um, they loved the hockey team just because we kept the class exciting. We're talking nonstop the whole time. And so I really got into working out that second year. We'd lift every morning. We'd go home, make breakfast for each other, which was huge. I fell in love with lifting. I felt like I had to do it every day. It was the start of my day. It was the highlight of my day, especially in college, when you're doing a lot of studying, a lot of boring stuff. But the lifting is what kept me going. I looked forward to that morning. I was the guy that was in charge of waking up first and making sure everyone in the house was up. I'd get the pre-workouts mixed up upstairs when I woke up, and then I'd bring them to the boys, wake them up, be like, "Here you go, let's get going." And so I loved that. Um, and then, oh, during this time, freshman year though, go back a little bit, I was going for engineering. So going out of high school, had no idea what I wanted to do, had no clue what type of degrees there were, really, because I didn't do a lot of research. I was hoping to play hockey. So I was just kind of going. I knew I was good at math, and engineers made a lot of money. So I was like, I guess I'll do engineering. I like building things. I'm very hands-on. That first year hit, there was nothing hands-on about engineering. It was sitting at a computer doing calculations. You had to make sure it worked on the computer before you even got to touch anything. And I was like, this is dumb. I want to like just mess with shit until it works and not just sit at a computer and calculate things. So I realized that was not for me. I couldn't do it. Ended up failing a class both my first semester and my second semester. And then sophomore year, I went undecided. And then second semester, sophomore year is when I found that exercise science. Um, I kind of fell in love. Anatomy ended up being one of my favorite classes, and it was the first class that I actually got an A in college, I think, besides some of those super e easy ones, but that was the first class that I actually applied myself to learn and actually enjoyed. So that was huge. That helped a lot. It kind of everything turned around once I had that class my first semester, so junior year. Started falling in love. I was like, all right, I think I want to do a PT. Shadowed that, realized that was not for me. I did not want to work like with these injuries, these older people every day. That was not for me. So I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with exercise science going in my junior year. And then the second, no, the first semester junior year, there was this flyer that was in one of my lectures. I always sat like the front right, and there was a board to my right with flyers all over it that people put up. And there was one that I looked at every single day, and it was the strength and conditioning minor. And for that, so I looked at it every day. I realized because I went engineering, that whole first year, I was gonna have to have 4.5 years at least, maybe 5 years. So I had some extra space. So I was looking for a minor. I was like, you know what? I might as well try it. I really like lifting. It'd be cool to work with these D1 athletes at a Power 5 school. So I was like, I signed up, I applied. It was a big interview process for it. Went through that. I got in, and then I could have started early, but I was still probably like 155, 160 pounds by my junior year. Still hadn't gained a lot of weight. And the director, his name was David Lang. He was like 6'3", big guy, old football player, old football coach, turned strength coach, huge guy. And I saw him during the interview. I was like, I was actually scared. I was like, I'm not gonna start till I have to because he scares me. So I could have started earlier, in my junior year, in the weight room, being an intern, but I didn't. But now looking back, I wish I would have started earlier, but everything works out how it has. So come my senior year, so my 4th year in college, not my final year, I started the internship, had to wake up about 4:30 in the morning every morning to be able to get there by 4:45. Or no. Yeah, 4:45. We had to get there. Um, and we were told by this coach, David Lang, not to be late. I was late once. And let me tell you, he laid into me and I was never late again. Um, he was definitely the first mentor I had once I got into the weight room at WSU. And it was that second semester, he actually passed away with a heart attack. Um, and before meeting him, I was like, I just want to finish school. I want to get undergrad, find a job, get out of here. I liked school, but not enough to go to master's. And pretty much every day he had a class he taught. Um, I took as well with that minor. And every day he's telling us, I need to go into grad school after undergrad. You have to. If you want to be a coach, like it's good for you. Like you need it. If you want a job, you're gonna have to do it. And at first I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And then when he passed away, that was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So that was huge with him. Um, that first year, met a lot of other great people. Justin Blattner and Jordan Tingman, they were two coaches that were there. They were huge in teaching me strength and conditioning at the college level. And then the biggest one was Adam Thackeray. He's the one that actually ended up hooking me up with Corey Peterson at Minnesota. Met all those guys that first year, but then I had that second year at WSU. In that 5th year, I actually became the head intern. So we had about 30 interns at Washington State each semester. And there was one head intern that basically was the middleman between the strength coaches and all the interns. And that second year, I ended up getting that position, which I think helped me a ton, because I kind of learned managing both athletes and people. And then that was a great experience. They actually paid, because I had that, they paid for my CSCS test, which helped a lot because I was broke. I worked two, sometimes I had 3 jobs at a time. I think my senior year I was at 3, and then my 5th year I was down to 2 jobs. But yeah, so moving forward, WSU, Adam Thackeray hooked me up with Corey Peterson at Minnesota. So I got there that summer, met you guys, and you guys obviously one of the biggest influences in my career, because wouldn't be right here with if it wasn't for you guys. That class that summer was probably one of the best summers I ever had. Um, and I got like during undergrad, I had a job where I traveled across the world, worked military camps, well, camps for kids on military bases. So I went to like Italy, Germany, Hawaii, Bahrain, um, and I still think that Minnesota was one of my favorites, with you guys. Um, but Minnesota was a completely different world than WSU. WSU was very old school. We didn't really have any technology. The men's and women's basketball team had polar heart rate monitors, and that was it. That was the only technology we had. We didn't have any jump mats, any timing gates, anything like that, really. So going to Minnesota, my brain, when I tell you I like my brain hurt every day leaving Minnesota, it hurt. Like I thought I was learning more than I did in my entire undergrad every single day at Minnesota. Because you guys were, I thought every one of you was smarter than me. And I was like, I gotta learn all this. They know this, they know this. Like I'm trying to be just as smart as them, know what they know. And so you guys definitely pushed me to learn every single day, read the articles that the coaches were sharing with us. I know Vondo had a whole drive on exercise physiology that he shared with us, and I was trying to go through that at the same time. And I had never felt like that much knowledge before, just because you had to learn so fast there. That internship is definitely one of a kind internship, and if you get to go to Minnesota for it, you better take advantage of every single moment you have there. It was
Fact.
incredible. I also met Pat Peterson, who was the big reason I got to Akron. He was the first guy to really tell me about that position, the GA position at Akron that I eventually got after Minnesota. So big thanks to him. He was kind of the middleman between Cal Dietz and the interns over at Bierman. And he helped me learn a lot because Cal Dietz was on a whole nother level. I'm down here, and Pat kind of like taught us like what he's thinking, put it in normal people words so that we could learn as well. So big thanks to Pat Peterson as well. And then after that, went down to Akron. When I was told about it, I was like, I have no idea where Akron is, what Akron is. And the first thing about, I think Bondo maybe, or someone was like, oh, that's where LeBron's from. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Not a big basketball guy.
I for
So I
sure
had
said that.
no clue. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. It's got to be cool. So ended up taking that position. Went down there, met Tim Campbell. Great boss, great guy to work with. Can't say enough about him. One of the best dudes to work for. I think he taught us a lot as well. He's definitely more old school, not very technology. Akron did not have a lot of technology. They're a lot more like WSU. But he gave us a chance to grow as coaches, because before then I was just an intern. I was really just kind of following the coaches' programs. I really didn't make my own and get to put in place until I got to Akron. And he was the type of guy that was, if you got a reason for it and it's not dangerous, like if there's research that says it can help, like go for it, give it a try. He was all about experimenting with our athletes, but not to do box squats. That was the one he will never do. But he said if we have research for it and can prove it will help our athletes, we could do it. But I never did. But yeah, so spent 2 years at Akron. After COVID hit, I went to go back home. I was back home I moved home for about a week, and then maybe week and a half. And then I came back to Akron just because he was gonna give me a job for the summer. He's like, I'll keep you on payroll. You can work hourly until you find something. And during that time, Hayden was actually working on getting me a job down with him in
Bro, I was
Kansas.
working hard.
And at first he was like, I think, was it part-time
Yeah.
position?
Yeah. It was like
Yeah, so
20-hour
he
position.
first offered it, part-time position, 20 hours. And obviously 20 hours doesn't mean 20 hours.
No.
But that was a given. And I was like, I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna need benefits here soon. Is there any way you can get me benefits for this job that I'm in? And so he's doing his magic, working with the AD there, and gets benefits and actually gets a pay raise too. So more than what he originally told me, and benefits. I was like, I'm in. And at the same time that was going on,
And
oh,
I cleaned
yeah,
out a
go for it.
room in my
Yeah.
apartment with my fiance at the time so he could move in. So you have an empty room.
Yeah.
I just talked my AD to adding money and giving this guy benefits for a part-time position, which is unheard of. Unheard of.
I felt so bad because during that time, I interviewed with Solon High School, and I wasn't hearing back. It was like maybe a week and a half. So I was thinking, oh, not gonna, probably not getting this job. There was two other guys in it, and then I had my car loaded up. My car was packed up. Friday, I packed it up. I was planning on leaving Saturday morning to start driving down to Kansas. And Friday, I get this call from Solon High School, and this is like afternoon, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So I had already packed up. I was planning on hanging out with a couple guys at Akron, and then heading down in the morning. What's up?
Was there a big gap between like your interviews with Solon and then like when you finally got that call?
Yeah, it was.
So like you
I
weren't
think, like,
expecting to get called by them.
yeah, I was thinking I wasn't getting it because he said I could be back like early in the week or later. So I figured like earlier in the week was the guy that got the job, and then later in the week was like saying you didn't get the job. Um, but yeah, so like my car was packed up, ready to go. And then I got that call, and I felt so bad. I had to tell Hayden, and you were on a trip. I think
Bro, I was in
you
the
were coming
Mexican
back from
airport,
Mexico or something.
and I could literally
And I
tell
was
you
like,
exactly where I
oh
was standing.
no.
I remember this moment
I
vividly.
was like, did I call you or did I text
You
you?
called me, bro. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember taking the call, and I was like,
I was like,
so the
I
whole
felt
way
so
home, I'm
bad.
just thinking about this, bro.
Yeah, I was like, he's in Mexico and I gotta tell him I'm not coming. It was, I was heartbroken for you. I'm sorry. No, I don't think I'll ever stop apologizing for that one. But yeah, so then now I'm at Solon at a high school, loving it. So still in Ohio. But that was kind of the journey. I think I missed a couple things here and there, but
If you
Couple bottles, a couple boxes on your head, but that's for another day.
yeah.
if you
That's
go
it.
back, if you could go back and change like one thing just right off the bat, what would it be?
I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have started during my junior year, that first semester when I got in. I
Mhm.
could have started right away. Um, I wish I would have had more time with Coach Lang. Um, but everything happens for a reason, and couldn't be happier where I'm at now. So, but yeah.
JD, I just want to applaud you because you wouldn't be, I don't think you'd be in this position that you are in as a director at a high school if you have such a, if you didn't have such a great work ethic. Like since the time I've known you and like even telling you, like talking about your story in college, like you've always had like multiple jobs on the side, like whether times were tough or not, money was up or down, like you made it work. And like when I worked with you at Akron, like you did the same thing. Like you showed up every day,
Yeah.
like you gave it your all. And then when you left work, you went right back to work because you were still trying to earn a living and make it happen. So I will say you are one of the hardest workers I've ever met. So
Bro, I remember in
Thank
Minnesota,
you.
you were like sleeping on like your friend's couch.
Yeah,
The whole time you were there.
So I guess going back, a big thing was when I was looking for internships and GAs, I was applying to a bunch of GA positions. I don't know how many I applied to. Didn't get any of them. I get the interview and then nothing after that. But then my best friend, he lived in Minneapolis, and I reached out to him because I was trying to think like, there's no way I can afford like to do an internship and not have money coming in or a job. So I reached out to my best friend and I was like, "Hey, are there any colleges next to you? Like what's a big school next to you?" And he's like, the University of Minnesota." And I was like, "Oh, no way. That's huge. And I was just in shock. That was the school that was right next to him. I was like, I have to try and get an internship there. So I talked to Adam Thackeray, who is now at USC, as the baseball strength coach. He went to Mississippi State for a little bit and then USC, but he was like, I know a guy at University of Minnesota. I'll try to get you an interview. And sure enough, he did. And so, yeah, if it wasn't for my best friend offering his couch for me, I wouldn't have been there either. So,
Wow.
but yeah, I was sleeping on a couch for that whole summer.
Yeah.
It was
I think
Dude,
I
you've
spent
always
a,
been
a
taught. You've
night
always
or
talked
two
about
at
like.
Vondo's and maybe Adams.
You parked at
Yeah.
my place every day.
Yeah. But
You might have a few times had to stay over at my
yeah,
place.
no, I wasn't making it back home a couple nights.
There was no choice in that those couple of
I stayed at Vondo's too. Anybody not stay at Vondo's?
Justin.
I don't think I
Dude,
stayed
he had
at
an
one of
extra
those.
bed.
I
Yeah,
had
but
big-
I got kicked out of my apartment, and Vondo offered me his offered me another bed.
I had a big old room with 2 beds and it had a little divider. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got kicked out of my apartment and went and lived at Adams for like a
we've,
night.
we've all slept on each other's couches.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Adam
then-
might crash with you for a couple days once.
I think Justin, I picked you up every morning.
Well, yeah. So that's
So
what I
you
was
got-
gonna say. Is like to piggyback
hurt?
off what Bondo said. Like halfway through that internship, if it wasn't for JD picking me up because I could not drive, and my dad was like, "I'm not driving you to an internship at 5 a.m." Like, dude, I wouldn't have did it. So, yeah,
just
just
JD, I stayed at your place when I got to Akron.
Yeah. You
First
did.
week.
We paid the favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stayed on that futon downstairs.
Bodie.
Yeah, it's crazy how small a world is, the way things all
What
work out.
what do you think your 5-year plan is right now?
Honestly, the job I'm at, it's such a great job. I get a lot of support through the boosters, the coaches. I want to stick around here for a while. I don't see myself moving anywhere right now. I think high school's also the place for me. I do like college, but I think high school is where I definitely belong. I think I connect better with the younger age as well. So
Props to you for that.
yeah.
Cool. All right, JD. Well, appreciate you sharing your story, man. That was fantastic. Again, it's just cool hearing somebody else's path. You know, like we all know
Yeah.
each other really well, but we don't all know everything. So it's great to hear. I hope you guys enjoyed the series as much as I did. This is cool. Definitely be great to get other coaches on here and get this going too, and kind of hear their stories, and we can dive into it and learn more about them and learn more about their journeys, things they do different, all of that. So we appreciate you tuning in for the last episode of hold on, Coach Ruff.
when is Miles for Mick again?
Yo, Miles for Mick. Good talk. I'll bring it up then.
All right.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for this whole series of Journey to SNC Professional, Strength and Conditioning Professional. It's been really cool. If you guys have questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, shoot them our way. We'd love to get back to you and just interact with you guys. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that. Subscribe, like, follow, share, do it all. Help your boys out. Help the herd out. Miles for Mick. So if you're an OG hanging with the herd, we talked about Miles for Mick. I think it was like one of our maybe second or third episodes. We had Casey Malafu on, who I went to school with, and is just an awesome dude. His sister was one of my best friends in college, Michaela Malafua. She passed away from cancer. Last year, Casey and a couple other guys did this like running challenge thing where they ran 1 mile every hour for 24 hours. That will happen on March 31st, I believe is the date. So I'm getting going. I'm gonna start training for that. And my goal is to do it. Now that could be totally messed up with the baby, because we have no idea when the baby's coming at this point. It's for sure coming early. We just don't know when. So I don't know. My goal is to do it. It's probably gonna get messed up. I probably have to do it in Lincoln and not in Hastings. But that's the goal. So I don't know if you guys plan on doing it. If you want to come out and do it, you're more than welcome to. I got a place for you to stay. But I, as of right now, I will be doing it. So shout out Casey Molafua, shout out Michaela Molafua. Super excited for it. So
Yeah, I'm gonna try and send it. Like I'm gonna
yeah,
I'll empty the tank on it.
cool.
You gonna
So-
train for it?
I mean, I train.
Yeah,
I've been actually my conditioning has been the conditioning I'm putting football through. And my
remember what
GA has-
Casey said?
Huh?
Didn't Casey say like kind of train for it a little bit, like a month in advance, and then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
awful, just
Bro,
went not well.
You probably can't train. It's so weird. It's such a
No, yeah,
weird
no,
thing.
yeah.
It's like you just got to be like at least in cardio shape, But
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do something podcast wise through it. So if you're a listener, I'm hoping to do something like that. Maybe as a group we do a podcast through, and maybe I'll do some recordings with them, whoever I do it with, or things like that, or whatever. But my goal is to do something through the race. I think that'd be a cool thing, kind of like what they did. So definitely want to do that. So
What's the date again?
March 31st.
March 31st.
So the end of this month.
You got 1 month, get training.
Yeah,
March
yeah.
1st.
30 days.
Yeah. So we'll keep everybody tuned in for that, and we'll get it going. But yeah. Cool. Anything else, boys?
I just want to say thank you to all of the people in the strength and conditioning world that's got me to a place here. It does, when people say it takes a village to raise a kid, whatever it is, that's the same thing in the profession.
It's facts.
Without all the people that have taught me so many different things at WSU, at Minnesota, Akron, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So thank you, everyone, and you guys especially.
Could have been Newman, bro.
You bet, Jay.
Could have been. We could have been in Kansas. Then he would have left me a month later and been like,
Bro, my assistant left me earlier. The guy I hired, he ended up leaving me before I left. So
I remember that.
yeah. But also so many free shout outs, JD. Just throwing them out there. Just you
Hey,
get
I'll-
you
I'll
get-
donate some money into the bank account.
Oh yeah.
You should put a little thing on the video. It's just like no free shout out, no free shout out, no free shout out.
Yeah, I
thing just
gotta
pops
I gotta add the
pop-up.
duck quacking. I gotta add the shout outs.
Hey, to our herd members, go get some apparel, go get some RPPM gear, go grab a training program.
Facts. Check it out. rawpowerpyramass.com. Oh, we all got gear? We all got gear?
Yep.
Yep.
Adam.
Dang Adam.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.